Yes, Sean.
That was a speech.
This actually is a question. Sheriff Livingston, I have a couple questions for you. One is, can you talk about the number of empty beds that are currently in the system and why they can't be used, and a little bit about what your role is in using your discretion to classify which facility people would be assigned to and what the actual classification of those facilities are?
Thank you. So the reason that some of the other beds at West County, again, reminding everyone, dormitory style, common areas, common bathrooms, keys to their own cells, etc. That is a medium security facility. So what I have to do and my staff has to do under the law and for good management of the facility is to classify inmates. And so those that cannot be out at West County have to be kept in Martinez, where they have single cells or maybe single cells that have, or cells that have double bunks if they're light prisoners. I'm talking about things like gang members who can't be housed with rival gang members or will have a murder. I can't talk about sex offenders who will be stabbed and slashed by other inmates. That's the reality. So it is part of our job to look at the offense, the history, the known associates. We have some inmates that are what we call out alone, house alone, because of their attempts to assault staff. They create weapons, and we've had examples where they've attacked staff. So part of my job, again, part of the job that's not so sexy and people don't get to see, but the reality is we have to properly program and properly classify almost 2,000 inmates, and it is difficult. So the beds that are available in West County are very limited in purpose. That's why it works so nicely as a dorm style for the ICE detention contract. We wouldn't put a single ICE detainee in the new building that we're proposing. We would move people from Martinez into that one, but we still have to be very, very careful about classification because we've learned from our mistakes where we put the wrong people together. So yes, that's the biggest problem, and that's what limits what types of cells we can use.
Are you willing to get an assessment of your classification system? Because according to the prison law office, they said that you had an antiquated classification system.
Right, so the prison law office is a plaintiff's law firm that goes up and down the state suing taxpayers and suing jails, suing all of you. And their group now is about a year into litigation with us. We're trying to negotiate a settlement. And one of their things that they like to do is bring in experts, similar to the plaintiff's expert that was mentioned earlier, who gets $480 an hour to testify. But at any rate, they come in and they make recommendations. And yes, Claudia, the answer to your question is that as part of the negotiated settlement, we are looking at the Virginia model of classification, which assigns points a little differently as to how we can move people. So where we can do that, we will. We'll look at the latest best practices, evidence-based. We always have, but now as part of the prison law office litigation, we're moving forward on that.
Thank you.